right. So thank you for joining us for the Janice Oasis. And today I actually have the creator of the music for the Janice Oasis. Jim Wolf had graciously created this music, and it's actually free for use. Although he does actually have a whole business that is dedicated to content creation. And I think you operate that more from TikTok. Is that right, Jim?
Yes, yeah. Hello, community. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
So I have used Jim's music actually since I created the podcast back in December. I learned about you through John Esperian's original Espresso group, and that's where I came across your music. And I was looking for something that was future focused, that would capture the imagination and really just carry the theme of the podcast, which is let's create the future of work together, let's co-create. And that recording that I landed on just captured that. And that's actually something that you're trying to work with people on individually too, is how to create like an audio aspect to personal branding, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. First thing, I was really delighted that you chose that. Amelia in Space. And it was like, the first time I heard it, it fits great. Yeah. So audio's exploding in line with what's happening with social media and with content creation. Now, I've been making music for 30 odd years, and I wouldn't say I've come from a YouTube background, but I've been watching what's been happening on YouTube. And on YouTube, there's massive issues about copyright music being used, and lots of creators are getting strikes and stuff like that. I came onto LinkedIn. I'm fairly new to LinkedIn, about a year ago, and I noticed quite early on, I saw people using content, and they were using copyright music. Now, when you're doing that in a business environment, and you've got say a business video, you're sort of asking trouble. So I decided to try and, I guess, help the community by making people aware of the issues. But I wanted to take it one stage further, because I wanted to give people a safe space for music. So we created this free, which you found, the free music resource. And so what I did, I put 400 audio clips, under what's called Creative Commons license, which basically means I've given up my royalty and rights on this music. And so anyone can take the music and they can use it and repurpose it however they feel fit. There is no restriction, and there's no risk. And the beauty of Creative Commons is I can't take it back in the future. Once it's out there on Creative Commons, it's out there. I could take them down and no one could use them anymore, but anyone that had already used it, well, that's it. They've got it under Creative Commons. It cannot be reversed. And I thought that's really nice. So having then done that, it was a question there. It was a great resource. And also, look, from a commercial standpoint, of course, let's be completely transparent here. It was a great way of getting my own personal brand out there. And it's worked really well, because so many people have used the music, and it's lovely. It's great on a personal level to see my music being used by content creators. And then what sort of from there, and that was great. And then something quite major happened about 2 or 3 months ago. TikTok announced the launch of their own streaming platform called SoundOn. But there was something unique about it. And what they were saying is, right, if you go on SoundOn, then you can also put your music onto TikTok. And content creators can use your music on their TikToks, and you'll get streaming royalty. Now, for me, that was a game changer, because streaming, notoriously, you don't really earn much money on streaming. Unless you are Ed Sheeran or Adele, you ain't going to earn a penny on it. But with the TikTok thing, with the boom of TikTok and the content creation, I thought to myself, all I need to do is get people using the music, and then I could build up a regular streaming income. Now, I've been on there for 3 weeks. I've only got 20 tracks up there so far. I looked at it this morning. I had 27,000 streams already after 3 weeks, which is not really doing anything with it. So I think the potential there is great. The other lovely thing about the TikTok license agreement I've got is they allowed me to still keep the free music for the LinkedIn content creators on the website. In other words, I could still use that. So I didn't completely sign the rights away. If I'd have gone through something like PRS, I would have had to have signed all of my rights away. The uniqueness about the TikTok agreement, it allowed me to still keep, because that was a big consideration for me. Now, the great advantage for me there is I've already got all this music that I've created for the free platform. I'm now taking that, repurposing it, putting it onto the TikTok platform. So the lovely thing there is, I don't know, let's say what goes around comes around. I spent all that work putting music out there for people to use free because that's what I wanted to do. But now I have the opportunity to actually earn some money from it. And the lovely thing about it is some of the people that have used, people like Claire Carroll, have actually taken some of the music, used it on TikTok. So I'm getting my LinkedIn community to start using the music on TikTok, which is brilliant. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
excellent. So initially, so some of the risk for repurposing happens when you're playing music in like a LinkedIn Live, for example. You have something playing on your office, you record it, you put it on LinkedIn Live, and then you repurpose it and put it on YouTube, right? And then
Yeah.
because it's copyrighted, they can actually come after you because it's in the background of the video, right?
Absolutely. It's copyright is it's a very straightforward thing to understand. If a track's under copyright with a publishing house, at that point, you have to pay for the rights to use that track. There's no ifs and buts about it. Now, and it also goes one stage further, and a lot of people are not even aware of this. Even on platforms like TikTok and Facebook, if you repurpose a video that you've made on TikTok and put it on a social platform, in a TikTok agreement, you're not meant to do that. Now, I don't know what TikTok will do, but they've got the right to withdraw it. The real risk, I think, comes when people use big commercial music, like an Adele track or something like that, because the publishing house, it's big business. It's very big business, very lucrative, and they guard that. They've got gatekeepers, they've got lawyers, and there have been so many issues on YouTube. People have had their channels taken down completely. Now, my message to the community is, look, you have to be aware of this. Now, at the moment, LinkedIn's a unique space because there's not really what I call much copyright policing going on, because it's still relatively low level for music created content. But that is growing, and it will continue, in my opinion. I may be wrong. I think it will continue to grow because video and audio are leading the way in social, and that's going to have to grow, and it's going to have to get larger. Now, in my opinion, there will come a point where the copyright lawyers, because that's their job, they make a lot of money, will start looking into LinkedIn. Now, if you've created some business content and you've got some copyrighted music, and that may have been on your feed for a while, it may be quite valuable because that's your content. It's a tool of your marketing, if you like. All of a sudden they come on, and not only can they take it down, they can actually take you to court. They could theoretically go after payment. So my message has always been to content creators, look, you just avoid it. And look, my music's okay, but my music's not Ed Sheeran, it's not Adele. It hasn't got that powerful ear candy that you only get when a song becomes part of the public's consciousness. And that's the thing that will attract people. I've wanted to do it myself. You create a bit of content, and I look at this content, I think, oh, I know just the track that will go with that. Something by the Beatles. I can't do it. I cannot do it, because the minute I do it, I'm running a massive risk. Look, if you're just a person doing it for a bit of fun, then okay. The worst thing that'll happen is you'll probably just be asked to take it down. But if you're a business, then I think you have to be very mindful of the risks involved. Now, and it's not just there are quite a few resources out there. One of the things, something that's growing a lot, is paid subscription for music. There's some quite large sites out there now that offer, so there's plenty of royalty-free music. But with those sites, I would always say to anybody, make sure you still read the small print of the agreement. I found one the other day, and it's really interesting. The company said you can subscribe, you can use our music, you can use it. Oh, but by the way, if your video monetizes on YouTube, we reserve the right to take that monetization. And it was right in the bottom of the small print. And if you read it, and so the thing is, even when these sites say that they are, just read the small print. Now with mine, that's why I went Creative Commons, because Creative Commons, I can't put those little cravats in there. If I wanted to be sharp practice, I can't do it with Creative Commons. It's a legally binding document and agreement, and a recognized license. It's a recognized, it's on the website. Anyone can download it and use it and whatever. Yeah.
So when you're taking this music that you had under Creative Commons and you're moving it over to TikTok, TikTok doesn't have that kind of agreement on it?
Great question. That's a brilliant question. When it goes onto TikTok, then what I've signed with TikTok is basically I've given TikTok the permission to let TikTok creators use that music. So say I'm a TikTok creator. Part of the TikTok agreement as a creator is you can use this music. But, and this is the really interesting thing, and I've not asked TikTok about this because I'm still building my relationship with them. But at some point, I'll probably go talk to my label manager and ask him the question. Yeah. This is the thing I was thinking about. Right. So I've got music on the free website. I've got a version of that music on TikTok. Okay, it's been slightly modified because it needs to fit the TikTok, but yeah. But it's by law. So what happens if someone uses one of my tracks that they got and they make a TikTok video and then they bring it across to LinkedIn? But it's the music.
That was my next question. Yes.
So that now, one of the things I'm planning to do, and when I get the time, what I'm going to do, something I'm going to hopefully help the community with, is how to repurpose your video and take the music out of it that could be copyright and put one of my bits of music in place, because it's not that difficult to do.
Right. You helped me with that.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yeah. And it wasn't it easy?
Yes. Once I knew how to do it. Yes. And then it was just like making sure that I saved it properly, and then just uploaded yours. And we were using Canva. For people who don't know the whole backstory, Jim actually has a private group that he's created in LinkedIn for people who are interested in music. What's the name of the group again? Spirit Cat Music. And so he does experiments there, and we talk about these sort of topics. And so he did a whole demo on how to actually like take a TikTok, repurpose it, take the sound out from TikTok, and then repurpose it with his Creative Commons music. And so I did that with the music from the Janus Oasis, which is, what is it, Emily in Space?
Yeah, Amelia in Space, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where I got that one from. I haven't got a clue.
I was actually wondering about that, but and yes, so it was quite easy to do, but it's an extra step to make sure that you're protecting yourself. If you're not an expert in copyright law, it's probably just safer, really, just to make sure that you're not using anything that you don't know if you have the full rights to. Yeah,
absolutely, completely. And yeah, and again, and the other thing with the free music site, again, this music has been produced in a certain way. Something else I will, over a period of time, be able to do with the community, for people that really want, if people really want to get this with it, I'll be able to show people how they can take it and cut the music and make it fit. Now, this is a really weird thing of mine, this. So I like music to resolve. So say you got a podcast, I like the music to come in and fade out before the person starts talking. If I'm doing a TikTok video and it loops, TikTok's got this continuous loopy thing. So I like my music to be able to resolve. So instead of it just ending abruptly, so they go, I've got up, and then it starts, I like it to go, I've got to and then what happens there, it's really lovely effect, because you can then keep watching the video and it just keeps looping around and the music keeps looping around with it. And I've made tracks that are actually only under a minute long, but you can play them and they just sound like dance music's repetitive anyway, and they just sound like track, and it just keeps looping and you don't even notice the loop. And so one of the crazy nutty ideas I've got in my head is when I get to it, is to bring that in and show people how you can use a free but quite powerful and not that difficult to learn audio editing program. Take one of my pieces of music, put it in there, get the timing right, then bang it into your video using your Canva, and voila, you've then got a perfect Now, again, that might sound a little bit OTT, but one of the things that I'm trying to do here is help content creators get their content as best as they can. And it doesn't have to be Steven Spielberg, I don't know, Adele quality. If you look at some of my content, I mean, it's raw, to say the best. But even when it's raw, there's certain things you can do that give it that polish. And I think resolution of music is one of those things, because you don't notice it, but you do. If something ends abruptly or it doesn't, we all expect music to resolve.
Yes.
We've been brought up on music resolving, and that, I don't know, it's just one of my things.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's on my bucket list for this year once we get that all organized. Now, just to clarify, you used a term I didn't quite understand. It's a bit OTT. Over the top, okay?
Over the top.
Canadian is not understanding Cockney slang, so
yeah, oh god, blimey, governor. Yeah, right over the top. Apples and pears. I'll be whatever. Anyway,
you're bringing back all my Dick Francis books that I used to read when I was a teenager.
Yeah, yeah. Dick Van Dyke did a good Cockney accent, and Mary Poppins not.
Yeah.
Bless him. I love that film. One of my favourite family films. Absolutely. Love. But yeah, over OTT. Look, it's not the end of the world if it doesn't, and it could be seen as a bit OTT. But what the hell? I don't know.
No, exactly. It improves the experience. It makes it something that is free flowing and streaming, and you don't notice it. You just like you notice if it doesn't work, and you don't notice it if it does work.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It just doesn't interrupt the ear and the train of thought, right? You concentrate on the message of the content, not what the music is doing.
Absolutely. Because in a way, music, it should blend, shouldn't it? Good music should blend. You chose the music for you, and it blended into the podcast. It was part of the whole. That's the thing. And again, I think with music, and I think if the free resource I've put together has got a weakness, is it hasn't probably got a large enough catalogue, because there's a limit to what I can put out free, because I've got to earn a living as well.
Oh, of course.
Over time, hopefully I will address that, because I will keep building on the site. But I think if there's a weakness there, I can see. I've tried to put a nice broad range, but for example, I haven't really got much classical stuff on there, which I need to address, and I haven't got a lot of sort of floaty, dreamy, nice stringy stuff, and which again, and I think the choice of music is quite important, because particularly a good choice of music at its most powerful in content when it helps to put the message, when it helps to convey something, and that's the power of music. It's one of the reasons I did a little example video. I don't know if you've seen it, where I did a video. It was me doing some exercises, and I showed me doing these exercises without no music. And then I put me doing his exercise with this crazy drum and bass music to demonstrate the difference and the energy. It even made the old boy look like he was trying to put some evidence on me. But it was a wonderful example. And I got that idea from, I was doing, because I do videos for our family business. And we do cleaning, we clean houses. And I was doing a video on house cleaning, and I did this really nice video, and it was all nice, and the house was beautiful, and there was no sound in it, and I was like, yeah, so, and I put the sound in it, and all of a sudden it just went, and the whole thing bonded.
And but movies and TV have been using that for years. So like I'm starting to watch The Summer I Got Pretty, and it's on Amazon, and it's like a teenage kind of romance kind of thing, but like the playlist is what makes
absolutely
show. And that's what's going to take off on social media. That's what's sticky, right? That's what brands doing as well too. Like, in your opinion, what are the best brands who are making the best use of audio?
I'm glad you brought it. So one of the big things that brands have been doing for a while is something called the audio logo. Now, I'll give you the best example of that, Intel. Whenever you think about Intel, you think duh, 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 duh. Now that is an audio logo. And now this is what I think is really fascinating. Now, audio logos, until quite recently, if you're going to advertise on telly, then yeah, great, you'd have it. McDonald's, I'm loving it, yeah, all of that stuff. These are a real powerful part of the brand. Now, social media is making it more available for people to put their own content and people to consume it. So, exclusive announcement here. I'm just about to start to launch an audio logo service for small business. But what I'm going to do, I don't know, am I allowed to do advertising?
I'll allow it.
But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it one stage further. So what I've done at the moment, I've developed this, I call it like this audio logo package. So I've got this piece of music, and it's got a little bit in it that's the audio logo. So if you want the little you've got it. It's got something that you could take out and you can maybe use as an intro for a podcast if you so want it. And it's got something a bit longer. So if you do a longer video and you want some background, it's got that. The idea being that then you've got some music that you can repurpose across content to reinforce your brand with audio. And it's something that I've been working on for a while, and I've been doing the videos for it over the last couple of days. It's good to go in probably about a week or so. Whether anyone will be interested, I don't know. But yeah, and again, and I think that's those examples are great examples of companies that have used music to, but it's used all the time in adverts. It's used all the time in adverts.
Yeah.
And one of the most powerful uses is when you remember the jeans advert, the guy that he got his jeans when he was in the laundrette, wasn't he? Yeah, and took his jeans, and they had, what was the music? Oh God, can't remember it. That's terrible. I'll come back to me. But
I remember the guy in the laundromat with the jeans.
yeah, but the music, and now the larger companies, of course, they can use that music because they've got the budgets to use it. Yeah?
Of course, they're commissioning that music,
absolutely,
right?
Absolutely,
yeah.
and probably this is where the publishing houses are probably making a lot of money now. To be honest, they probably make more, probably as much, if not more. I mean, I saw something the other day. Sony put their first quarter results, they're publishing out, and they were huge.
You also have, like, especially I think the pandemic drove this as well too. A lot of recording artists are really actually making deals to sell their back catalogs because like they can't tour, or during the pandemic they couldn't tour. So all of a sudden they're getting to a certain age, and it's like, how do you actually profit off this back catalog when you actually can't do the live music, which is what you said that you really enjoyed. So you've got artists signing like deals for like 200-300 million dollars.
Absolutely.
And that music, every deal, I'm sure it's going to be different, but like it's big names. There's like Stevie Nicks has sold. Who else? So I think that the Tom Waits estate got sold.
Bob Dylan didn't. Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan. Yeah, like I'm waiting for the Eagles catalog to go on sale.
I mean, the money. But the other unique thing about these old artists, see, if you think about it, the mass popular music thing has changed so much. Take it back a couple of decades or so, when you had radio, you didn't have, music wasn't what it was. So of course, and yet in our country, it's something like Top of the Pops. Now, what that did, this music, this iconic music, it's iconic because it's become ear candy, because it was fed into the public consciousness for so many years. The difference now is with artists coming up, you haven't got that same level. You haven't got that same level of exposure because you haven't got back in the day before the internet, when I was a kid, we only had Top of the Pops. And if you got your track on Top of the Pops, that was it. You had made it as nice. And then it was played everywhere. And then it became part of your culture. And I think what's interesting about that is, and again, I'm wondering if it might, music making money in music may change because of it, because I'm not sure if in the future there are going to be the opportunities for as many artists to be able to monetize their catalog the way there is at the moment. And I think that what will happen is, I think artists, and they're already doing it now, will be looking at other ways of making money from their music. It's one of the reasons why I've launched this. I mean, I've actually launched it as a record label, Scarecat Music, and we've called it digital audio distribution, because I'm looking at this and I'm asking myself questions. Well, in the future, how are artists going to monetize their music in this digital medium? And I'm not sure where Scarecat Music is going to end up, but I've almost had a glimpse of it with TikTok. TikTok has changed the game because it said you're going to make money from creators using your music, and these are just normal creators. These aren't big companies. So all of a sudden, I couldn't take my music to, let's say, McDonald's, because they've got the budget to use Bob Dylan, haven't they? So why are they going to use me? But the smaller creator can't use Bob Dylan. But this is where I think TikTok have been completely genius, because they've said, hang on, so all these smaller creators haven't got budgets. We've got all these little music producers like Jim. If we invite them onto the platform and we give them a different model. Now, I don't know where the TikTok thing is going to end, but to me, that's a glimpse of the future of where this could go. Yeah.
Do you think that, like, Justin Bieber, for example, was discovered on TikTok or on YouTube? So do you think that musicians of the future are going to be found on TikTok in like the short term, like the short form?
Yeah, it's already happening. It's definitely. Now, just go back to what I was saying. Now, there will always be musicians that can cut through and will build valuable catalog. But I think what I was trying to say is, I don't think there will be as many. I think it will be, it's got so diverse now, music. It's not, again, another thing that's changing it, go back in the day, really, the record companies were the gatekeepers. If you didn't have a record deal, no one really heard your stuff. Now, look at me. I've come onto LinkedIn. People are using my music. I haven't got a record company. I'm doing it all myself. People are using it on TikTok. People are hearing my music. So there's no longer a gatekeeper. I'm my own gatekeeper. I just need to work out how I can take mine. And what's interesting for me is I've come onto LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn's a platform. You haven't got many musicians on LinkedIn because they tend to be on YouTube. And so I came onto LinkedIn and the penny dropped within about 3 weeks. So hang on a minute. I'm standing out from the crowd here. Whereas if you put me onto a platform like SoundCloud, there are loads of me on there. I'm just one of millions. Yeah. Whereas I come onto LinkedIn and it gives me a chance and I can stand. And once I can stand out, then it's then a question of asking myself, right, okay, my audience are content creators. My audience are not listeners. I've realized that. I've realized I do not make music for people to listen to. I make music for people to create with. Yeah. So now I'm saying to myself, right, so what is my audience? My audience are content creators. And LinkedIn's done that. If I hadn't gone onto LinkedIn, I wouldn't have made the connection. It would never have happened. I went onto LinkedIn when helping my business partner, Mark. He saw it before me. He said, we need to put the music out there free because—
Who's your partner?
Mark, no one really knows about it because he's one of these people not very good on social. He doesn't like social. He's a wonderful guy. He's a bit of a hippie. He's a bit of a revolutionary. We don't really want to get him on Linky. He'll scare the cat more than my music will. But he's a wonderful guy. He's a really great and a really clever guy. He does all the graphics and he builds these wicked, amazing websites. We have a few, we don't really push what we do out into the community. We have a few exclusive clients we work with and stuff like, because we're only 2 of us. So it's, and I've got other business interests as well. So I can't really take too much on anyway. But yeah, Mark's great. But that was the thing with Lee. It was that realization all of a sudden, hang on a minute, because as a musician, your first thought is, right, I'm making music for people to listen to. And for me, it was it was like a road to Damascus moment. Hang on, I'm making music for people to create with.
The creator economy is really something
completely different. Swift on its head. Yeah. Really exciting because of it. So it's great.
It is. Yeah, no, it's very cool. It's it's a very different take of how you use social media and how you can actually help people in different ways. Absolutely. So that's part of why I wanted to have you on the podcast. Plus, I wanted to say thank you for the Creative Commons thing that you created and all the help you've given me.
I loved it. I mean, again, look, I'm a very fortunate man. I'm blessed. I have a family business. It's been trading for 17, 18 years. I don't want this to sound the wrong way, but I don't actually need to make money. I'm not rich. I'm really not rich, but I'm comfortable. I'm a family man. I've not got drives for big houses and cars. I don't really care for that stuff. I really don't. All I need is enough money to buy software and musical equipment, and I'm happy. So So I'm in that lovely position. I'm a pensioner. I mean, I'm an old bloke. So I'm in that lovely position in life where I don't have to do this commercially. That empowers you in a way. Now, don't get me wrong. Of course, I want to make a bit of money because I'll give it to my grandchildren, and I feel that I should. I feel that like any person that has a craft, there should be some reward. But
what you pay for, you pay attention to, right? You value it. It's part of your staff, right? Absolutely. So if you're giving it away for free always, then people are going to respect it less. It's just the way of the world.
What I'm trying to do is this. Again, I come from a small business background. I mean, my business is still small and I understand margins, pressures, this, that, and the other. Yeah. So what I'm trying to do is this. I'm trying to fit myself in this space where there are people out there that will pay for me and they've got the budgets to do exclusive music for them, and it will be so exclusive and they'll want that because they won't want anyone else to use it, and that's great. And they're the paying clients. But there are other clients that haven't got the budget, but they need that. So what I'm trying to do is work on 2 levels. I've got my commercial side, one side that brings me my money in, and in a way that supports the other bit, because then the money I'm making now I can push some of that back in, maybe improve a website. One of my dreams is I want to get a little junior apprentice to come and sit alongside me and get him or her to make little bits of music and push them out onto the free site. But I can't do that until I've got the commercial side of the Scarecat music really going. But it's just I'm in a really lucky, fortunate position to be able to have the freedom to be able to do things the way that I want to do them, which
That's
is great.
good. And I love that you're creating community around it, because community is such a positive aspect as well.
Yeah, and I think it's massively important, more so now than ever. I don't want to get into sort of big political stuff here, but I think there's so much division in the world. I think there's so many splits. Things are weird at the moment, really weird. The vibe is weird. There's no way I can explain it. I think community and power of community is one of the things that could pull us through, because I think we've got some real challenges ahead of us. Human race, you've got challenges ahead of you. And I think community and power of community is one of the things that can help pull us all through it. I really believe that.
And music has always been a bomb too. So
Absolutely.
if you combine music and the power of community, it can't help but be a positive thing. So.
Absolutely. It's powerful. It's so powerful.
Yeah.
So powerful.
All right, let's wrap this up. So obviously we can find Jim on LinkedIn and TikTok. On TikTok, you've got a few different names, don't you?
No, so on TikTok, my hashtag, my thing, you don't do the curly, I don't know, at sign, Jimmy 5 Notes, and it's a 5, Jimmy 5 Notes. But the music I put out under various artists. So I've got Fisher Green, I've got Dr. 5 Notes, I've got Subservient, I've got James Leslie, and I've got a new one, Deadhead, who came on this morning. He does nosebleed techno, so you want to keep well away from him.
I love how you have the persona behind all of them.
Hell no.
And then it's all Scaredy Cat music, right?
Scare Cat music, yeah. Hashtag. And then can I mention the website? We've got a website, 5 Minutes Media, but that's where you'll find the free music. Although Mark's messing about with it at the moment, but it's still there. If you go there and you can download it, it's pretty. I think it's pretty easy to use. We try to make it easy to use.
So, question for you when you're talking to TikTok is like, could you actually have on your website the Creative Commons version and the TikTok version, and then people can choose which one they want to.
So
use?
for me to get paid on TikTok, they have to
They
have to do it on the platform.
Okay.
Because that's how the thing works. So what happens when I do a track for TikTok, I do the full track, but then I take a minute because they want a minute of it. That then goes onto TikTok. It has to go through all their quality control, and then it goes on. And then how it works is, it's on there with audio, and there's a vast pool of music there. It's on there, and people, and if they use one of mine and they put it into their little TikTok video, then bang, and then every play gets count in the same way as a stream would. Now, all I really need is one to go viral, like super viral, and then I can give up, sell me a house, buy a yacht, and then that's the end of it, isn't it, really? That ain't gonna happen, is it? But yeah, the only way I get paid from TikTok, I have to use it within the TikTok platform, which is right, because it's the only way they can do it.
Yeah, okay. No, I was just curious. All right, so I will connect with you and make sure that we've got all of those accurate in the show notes. Is there anything else you would like people to know about how they could work with you?
If you're looking for exclusive music, and then just send me a DM, connect with me. Let me know what you want. I should be able to do it. If I can't, I've got a few industry friends that could. My musical talents are okay. If there's a certain style and I'll only do stuff if I think I can deliver it properly. Otherwise, I'm not interested.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's the power of community, right? Like you're connecting.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you again for making the time and for educating me in Cockney slang.
That's been wicked. It's been really wicked. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.